What's up, guys? This is TableTalkz, and we're here with. Do you go by
Maddie?
Maddie.
Yeah.
Is that short for Madison?
Madison. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very okay. So, the reason I brought you on, and I think it's important to tell the audience like how we met, because we met during TableTalkz. We were going out on the street, interviewing people, and we asked you about relationship questions. You gave us your story, and I checked out your content. I liked the content. I liked that you were very expressive. You had a lot to say. I think you talk about like self-development and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think we'll dive into that. But yeah, introduce yourself. I want you to tell them
Oh God.
how you see yourself and what you think your content is about. As I put on my glasses.
Okay. Well, first of all, honestly, as far as Instagram goes, I don't have there's no niche. When I'm posting on Instagram, it's not me,
You don't have you almost kind of just do it.
Purpose. I'm just posting my life. I'm shooting this shit on Instagram. I'm trolling. I'm my life is a meme and I'm giving it to the world via Instagram. I'm not anything that I post is just shit that I think about. I don't know. It's not any kind of, I don't know. You know how there's people on social media who have their whole mapped out year plan for what their content is going to be and stuff. I don't do any of that. My Instagram is quite literally just
free form,
my life.
Just,
yeah. Because sometimes I post the poetry I write on there. Obviously I share my podcast on there and stuff, and just little I don't know, wise words or motivational kind of stuff. But I just genuinely enjoy content creating. I like to just make things, and so I don't know, there's not a point to my content or anything like that.
There has to be I know you're
what it is I lived an extremely miserable life for a really, really long time. And I did not even know that I knew I was miserable, but I didn't know or that misery was not just an innate part of my being. I thought that's just how it was. And then I learned that is not true. You get to choose how you feel every day. Well, that's not true. You don't get to choose how you feel, but you get to choose how long you sit in that feeling, what you do with that feeling, all of that kind of stuff. And so I guess basically we live in a time where I can say shit on the internet and it can reach whoever it needs to reach. And so I guess my point is to put things that have changed my life out there into the world so that they can find other people, so that other people can realize the things that I realized and because I changed my life. I was I don't know.
There's a lot. I think content is a representation of your internal life.
Well, no, not
does
for
that make
everybody,
sense?
Because some people,
because it makes up who you are. It's almost you're expressing who you are and you're putting it on the
for me
internet.
Personally?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
No, for you.
Okay, yes, precisely.
Yeah, so you do. So let's go down the list. You do poetry. You do yoga. You do.
I have a podcast.
You have a podcast.
Yeah.
What other thing? Humor.
Yeah.
You like to do
I like
humor.
To be funny.
You like, yeah, exactly.
I joke all the time. I work in a restaurant, and I joke all the time that going to tables is my practice for my stand up. I get to practice my bits.
That's interesting.
On my tables.
You're like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So okay, when I was a kid, I would watch Disney Channel and I'd be I'm gonna be Ashley Tisdale one day. I'm supposed to be famous. And I had no rhyme or reason for it at that age. Do you know what I mean? It was just I saw kids my age doing something that I actually just found a little thing from when I was in the 5th grade or something, and it says what do you want to be when you grow up, and my thing says vet and actor, and that's
interesting.
I would I act now? Yeah, probably, but there's always been this little part of me that just wanted to be famous, but I didn't really have a reason to whatever. And as I've gotten older, I realized it's just my mouth. I'm supposed to say things to people. That could sound really sexual.
No, that doesn't sound sexual. Wait, that does.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm supposed to yap. I'm supposed to give people. I have a brain with thoughts that a lot of people don't like think the same way that I do. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
and so
man.
like I think part of my like point on this planet is to like share my perspective. You
Yeah.
know, and I've got a lot of mediums that I like to do that through, and humor is definitely one of them. I don't think people can like laugh enough. Like I don't think people take things so seriously, you know?
What do you think? Because I feel like this with me as well, like that I feel like I want to be famous. Is it that you want to be heard or you want like a large audience? Because like usually fame comes with like a large audience. So is that what it is, or is it just like you want to be heard by the right people? Maybe, I don't know.
I guess like wanting to be heard maybe, but like
Yeah.
like more of I know I have things that people need to hear. Like it's like not, I don't give a fuck who hears me. Like I know, especially this is like kind of my what's the word, modus operandi, I guess, on Instagram, is that like when I post something, it's
Yeah.
gonna get to the people who it gets to, whether that's like 4.2 million people or like 1,000 or 10. Do you know? You know what I mean? Like I and that's actually something I've had to like get past recently, is that sometimes I have things to, okay, like the other day I posted something on Instagram about like if all you can take care of right now is yourself, like that's not a selfish thing to do. The best thing that you can do for everyone else is like take care of your shit so that one day you can like take care of other people's shit too. You know what I mean? But you're never going to be able to do that until you take care of your shit. And I was like, why am I posting this? Like I don't know who I'm talking to right now. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Like I don't know if any of this makes sense. And the next morning I wake up and a girl had messaged me and she was like, you have no idea how bad I needed to hear what you said. And she told me like what had been going on in her life literally like the day before. And she was like this message was for me. And so like it's not necessarily, I don't give a fuck who hears me. I used to, I think part of it used to like I just wanted attention, do you know what I mean? And like not in necessarily a bad way. But like I know that I like can command attention, and so at one point it wasn't something that I was doing often, and so like I wanted it because it was like something I'm good at, do you know what I mean? But I was not exercising.
Yeah.
And so now that I do things like this and you know what I mean, I get a safe place to like exercise those parts of me, so it's not like I like want to be or I need to be like heard necessarily, but I do think I have things to say that people need to hear. Does that make sense?
No, I feel this actually the same way. Like I've always felt like, for me, I've always enjoyed like having some sort of audience, whether I was doing anything. Like whether it's like magic. Like I went into magic at one point. Like just fucking random shit.
Just to make people
like
watch you do shit.
Yeah, like I do the same thing. Poetry.
Yeah.
Fucking motivational stuff.
Yeah.
I've had people like exactly what you're saying, so I can relate in that sense where I know what it's like to be on the end where I'm recording, and also the other end where people are saying, hey, I really needed that. I think that's important. Like, because it's like, maybe it comes natural for you, and that's like maybe how you like express yourself, and you see like so much value in yourself that you know that value can be seen from someone else.
Yeah.
And like you want to make a difference, obviously. So I think that's kind of like encompassing what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and I, honestly, and that's what it is like there are like, I'm talking about like on an institutional level, things about this country that I want to change. And I know that you cannot do those things without power, money, and influence. And so like I think that's honestly part of my interest. If I could make you can make a big impact without power, money, and influence, but like not at the scale that I want to. Like not at the scale that I want to change things. And so I think there's also that underlying, like part of the drive is because I know the access that it'll give to then allow me to do other things that I want to do. And like same thing. Like I know that my perspective is like a good perspective, and if I like have a I hate the word following. Like if an audience, yeah. Thank you. The word we've been saying over and over and over. And anyway, if I like have And okay, like Taylor Swift telling people to vote for Kamala Harris or whatever. Like that is actually like changes like the landscape of like
So you want to be in that power because you feel like you can give a good perspective or a good like be like a playmaker in that sense. I don't know another word for it.
Like a change maker. Almost.
Yeah, change maker, exactly.
Or just like it's so funny because it always feels so self-absorbed saying these kinds of things, and I've had to like get comfortable like expressing them. But like I collectively I think I could, if I had a platform, I think I could have a good influence.
No, you would.
That's really what it is. Like whether I joke all the time. One of my friends, I'll say some shit to her, and she'll be like, no. Like I told her where to. This is like a simple example. I told her where to move her couch in her apartment, and she was like, absolutely not. I'm not putting my couch there. And then a year later, I walk into her apartment, and her couch is in the exact spot.
Yeah.
I had told her that she would be happy if she had moved her fucking couch, and she like didn't remember me saying it to her. She didn't remember any of it at all. But I had like planted a seed in her brain probably a year prior. And it's like that's what I mean. Like I don't care if I get like whether she remembers that I said what I.
You made an impact in her life,
right? And this is like a very small
it
example.
sounds like you just want to be an influencer.
Exactly. Yeah. But in the sense of like whether you take what I say and do something with it, I don't give a fuck. Do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
You want to affect the right people. Obviously, like for us, like okay. Give you a little backstory. We are really passionate about he's more passionate about philosophy than I am at the moment, but we're really passionate about veganism together, and we really care about that. For me.
Are you both vegans?
Yes.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
I actually was looking at that. I didn't. Sometimes you just put stickers on your shit that you don't give a fuck about. You know, you're like, oh, I support it.
For the aesthetics.
Anyway.
But yeah, like
I'm a vegan ally.
We care about a lot of things, and like, I don't really know why I'm saying that. I think it's just to show you like who we are.
Yeah, well,
because I think like we're very common in that sense. Like I think that's why like. Based on what you're saying, it's like you're just explaining me.
Yeah,
well,
you said something and I was like,
yeah, you're explaining me. Like you just take different avenues to like pretty much influence people, not just influence people, but like express yourself.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's actually
and
what I want to do.
You want the light. You think that the light should be shined on you.
I think that I'm really good when the light is shining on me.
Right.
Making sure it's shining on other people, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
There was something I was gonna say right before you said that, and then I had another thought, and now it's gone.
This is a good time to take a bathroom break. I'm gonna use a bathroom break.
Yeah.
You subbed
You're
them.
like, do you have to go to the bathroom?
I know. I'm literally gonna go like 5
This
times.
guy,
But
crazy. But I am curious about your degree.
Okay.
So you said you're in environmental science.
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about that. What does that consist
First,
of?
you have to stop watching. I cannot do.
No, I was doing this.
Okay,
I was
leave
doing
it
this.
there then, because I
Okay.
cannot with reels playing.
Sorry,
in the
I can
background.
like double task.
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I need your full undivided attention. What did we just talk about?
I'm watching
an audience.
I'm watching it. I'm watching you right now.
I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Wait. So what do you want to know? What
does the environmental science degree consist of?
Okay, so I took the policy and planning track. So we talked a lot about. Okay, like one of my classes was like environment and society, and like just how the environment and society like intersect. I graduated college in 2018, so this is like a long time out of my brain kind of thing.
No worries.
But it was mostly like the intersection of like how humans exist like in the natural world, and like how it's hard because because I took the minor and the certificate in the human biology and the biobehavioral anthropology, my degree was like so like niche almost. Like if you went for an environmental science degree, you'd go take like I don't know, a bunch of like science classes to learn the topography of the like and like physics and that kind of stuff, but I like really niched down into like how we as humans affect the natural world and how the natural world affects us on like a philosophical level too, and not just like the science of it, like how our relationship with nature has like shaped like evolution and stuff. I took a lot of evolutionary or like evolution classes, which is like one of my favorite subjects in the world. I'll talk about human evolution like all day long.
Okay, interesting. Ooh, I'm curious. What are you, how familiar are you with like things like abiogenesis?
Not very familiar. What's abio? Do we have to let him in?
Nah, we don't have to let him in. So, no, because I was asking, basically, abiogenesis, and I have a very elementary, like, understanding of it. It's kind of like the idea, life coming from non-life, or, like, matter, just immaterial, like, well, non-material,
like,
or, like,
Big Bang shit, isn't it, or no?
Well, you could, the idea, from my understanding, the idea has to do with, like, you had the Big Bang, then you had a couple years after that, you had water, and then you had, like, lightning. And through the combination of things like water and some things going on is underneath the water plus electrical charges, you get the rise of RNA or DNA and things like that. That's like the idea.
But that is what's it called?
It's called abiogenesis.
So the Big Bang and abiogenesis are like...
No. So like you could talk about the Big Bang, because Big Bang theory specifically is more about just physics generally. However, abiogenesis I think has biochemist stuff like that.
But is that what? Do people believe that's what happened during the Big Bang?
No, not during. It happens I think it happens like millions or years after that.
Better question. Is that how people think like we got here? Is through a...
That is the...
Like, is that a theory?
It is. I'm not sure if it's like a consensus at the moment. I don't think so.
But it's like...
it's a competing theory. Hypothesis.
Yeah,
it's a competing hypothesis.
Do you know that... Okay, you know like in high school or middle school you learn that there's like the core, the mantle, and the crust?
Yes.
Do you know that shit was not proven true? Like it was straight up just a theory until 2022. And we were taught that shit like it was like truth. Like nobody told me that was just a hypothesis. Do you know what I mean? Like I had no clue that was just a fucking hypothesis.
It was, like,
just absolutely like weird. We did it. We dug down there. We figured it out.
Down.
Like,
there's lava there. We're not going anymore. Let's just tell them it's the core.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally they were like, well we can't get down there, so we're just gonna like theorize about what we think is in there.
It's just hotter.
And then one day they had the technology to actually prove it, and which was like a couple years ago. But that's like the crazy part about the American education system.
Yeah.
Is like most science is just like theories, like how we're talking about with the...
Yeah, I mean, it's harder for scientific law, it's very hard for it to become law.
Yeah.
But a theory, all you need is something like, and I'm not trying to downplay what a theory is, at least in science. In theory, science
is just theory.
Well, yeah, you have things like hypothesis, which is just an idea to explain some data.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need any evidence for it. However, there's like a theory, which is like you have the theory of evolution, which is like very supported by evidence. However, it may not go to the extent to become like law.
Right.
Something like that.
There's like evidence that can go.
There could be
point
good
towards
evidence
a theory
that points
to
towards
increase the probability.
Yeah, so you have some hypothesis. Let's say like.
Well, once it's theory, it's been tested. Like hypothesis has not been tested. You're just
Yeah.
You're just like shooting the shit.
Almost,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes a theory after you've like...
Yeah, and the interesting part about laws, like scientific laws, is like you don't actually go around and discover or look around. How do you know absolutely all galaxies follow like things like gravitational
patterns.
Gravitational stuff? And the way that we do this is through philosophy, induction, and it's awesome. So
I want to ask you, totally random, but okay, would you say that you're a spiritual person?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. What do you think spirituality means to you? Like, how would you define it?
I don't know. I guess we can figure that out right now.
Let's do it.
I don't know.
Do it. Analyze spirituality.
So I grew up. Let's rewind real quick. I grew up in like a Christian household, going to a non-denominational church, like every Thursday, every Sunday kind of thing. And even as a kid, I was like, some of the shit just doesn't, like, you want me to like believe with absolute faith that like no questions asked, that like all this shit is real. And I was always kind of like weird.
What is real? Oh,
Jesus
sorry, sorry.
Christianity
Yes,
and
yes.
the whole, the all of it. You know what I mean? So I like believed in Jesus, and you go to church and you like get saved, and they make you raise your hand or whatever the fuck at the end of it. Yeah. Well, that's different. I was baptized as a kid also, but like in non-denominational Christian churches, at the end of every service, they do this thing where they're like, if you want to be saved by Jesus, raise your hand, and you're washed of all your sins or whatever.
I remember that. Yeah.
Whatever the fucking. So like. But like you'd have to like repeat that like you were a believer, that Jesus died and came back to life and yada yada yada. And like as a kid I was always like, well, I mean like that's definitely possible, but like how like
why are you so certain?
and why do you need me to be so certain? Like my thing has always been like if God was real, and I will get to your question in a second.
Yeah.
This is all just like backstory stuff. If God was real, then like I don't think God would actually give a fuck whether I believed with absolute certainty or not that like Jesus died and came back. Like I it's like almost neither here nor there to me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like one small why are we putting so much emphasis on whether I actually believe something that I'm never gonna know the truth about? Like it doesn't matter. And so but then there were things that like I was told like tarot growing up was just like demonic. Like don't play with tarot cards. Like those are like seeds of the devil.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh was crazy.
I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter until like high school.
Oh,
yeah.
so you had parents like that?
Yeah, my mom was like
your
that,
mom?
yeah,
it's usually the mom.
Here's the thing though. My mom didn't even my mom like only thought she didn't actually give a fuck. It was just like what the other church moms.
She just wanted to align with
exactly. And that also was always weird to me as a kid. Like I am like by nature nonconformist, I think. Like I just like I question shit. My favorite word is why, and I used to ask it all the time, and my mom would just be like, Google it. And I just always had too much of a why brain to like sit in church and just be like, yeah, Jesus, not definitely kind of thing, you know what I mean? So then as I got like older and in college and stuff, I think it was in like 2021, I was at a really, really low point in my life, and I was just so fucking unhappy, and like I really didn't know what I believed at that point. Like I didn't go to church anymore. I'd go to church with my mom, and like I've always, do I think God exists? Like absolutely. Like I think there is some version of God, but I think God is gravity. Do you know what I mean? God is like the laws of the universe. Like God is like the small little things that keep the whole system running. Like it's not even a he. I hate.
You don't think it's like some sort of mind?
No. And I think it's like this
quantum field.
Maybe
but like kind of like I think like God is the quantum field almost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I know
like,
what you mean.
It's like the whole God is just the existence of this, like, and it's the cyclical God.
Everything
is the
physical or everything abstract.
Yes, it's the system making the system run. Like that's just like what God is.
You're just referencing everything when you say God.
Yes, exactly. Like
I think we're at the bare minimum, like the most fundamental things in the universe.
The universe. Like
just saying
God
everything
is the most fundamental.
you're just saying everything is what we mean by the most significant being, or we wouldn't say it's a being because it's not, because normally people think
in
God is like a being.
You could use being.
And that's what I couldn't like really get back, like referring to God as a he and stuff. That's weird fucking patriarchy shit. Like that's weird control shit. Like why are you telling me that's an omnipresent being? Well, because Jesus was a he or whatever, I guess. And there's just like all these little.
Bold claim. It's a bold claim to say that there's this being that we
just sits in the sky.
Well, that too, and also that it's not physical. Like, how do we even know? Like, that's a critique that people have about how is there a mind that's not physical? How do you have a mind with no brain?
Right.
Nothing to hold the mind.
Evolution is God. Do you know what I mean? It is just like the processes that have brought the Earth here. It's just like the underlying like.
What would you say spirituality is?
Well, that's where I'm getting.
Is that
and
what?
So,
okay.
So in 2021, I was just like not. I was like at a low point or whatever, and these pay card tarot readings kept coming up on my For You page on TikTok, and I would like listen to them, and at that point I was like just getting into the like. I always knew that kind of stuff was not from the devil, but also like wasn't. It was just like something I was told for so long. Do you know what I mean? That I kind of believed it. But then, I would like I listened to a couple of them, and they just like honestly said some shit that like I needed to fucking hear, and that in that moment, and that was where like my I started listening to pick a card tarot readings on YouTube. Shout out to Esotero if anybody knows who she is.
She sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen her.
She's awesome. Her name's also Madison. But so I was like listening to those kind of frequently and starting to realize that things like tarot are just like personal development tools. They're just like little like ways to like, okay, so like we are all channels. Everybody on this earth is instilled with like the collective consciousness of the planet. Like we're all connected. Mushrooms, for example. Fuck, I'm like getting way ahead of myself. I'm so excited.
No, it's okay.
I am answering your question in everything I'm saying. We're gonna like boil down to
it's almost like
it's gonna tie right.
Yeah, it is as things do, which is really funny because I'm talking about mushrooms and like mushrooms. So you have the little bulb, you know, that like comes out of the earth, but underneath there's the like mycelium network, and it's all these little thread-like things that connect. And what they do is they connect like plants to other plants and trees to other trees, and then they like all this nutrients is feeded through the mushrooms and then into all these different trees. And that is what I like kind of like to think of like what God actually is like God is the mushroom, the mycelium network that's then like all these little threads are being like connected onto everything.
The complexity
in
almost.
The planet. Yeah. And like we like I guess what I think spirituality is actually just like your personal relationship with being on this planet and like existing as a human. Like and I like kind of started to discover that through starting to get into personal development from wanting to literally like off myself and like listening to tarot at the same time. It was like the same fucking messages. I'm like hearing the same thing come out of like these motivational speaker podcast people that I'm hearing the girl I listened to like give me random pick a card readings. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I guess I think spirituality is just like your connection with being on this planet and like how to
function.
Your relationship with the world.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy is that so many like people are like, oh, I'm not spiritual, but it's like a fundamental like part of just being on the planet. You are connected to this earth. Like you were born from it. You know?
I think people, because I used to consider myself like spiritual. What's it called? And I would say like I gone down the path where like completely down the path where I was just like I was really into, not to say that if you do this you are spiritual, but I went down the path of like listening to gurus, doing yoga like every day, kind of like eating a certain way as like a pure like way of eating. It kind of all of these different like techniques that like stem from spirituality,
right,
or who would call themselves spiritual, thinking that we're all connected. Like I kind of went down that path, and then I started realizing like, well, what do we mean by spirituality? What is spirituality? And then it kind of confused me, and that's where you came in, where I've always been interested in philosophy, never really understood what it was. I thought it was just like asking questions or like esoteric way of thinking, and like just different perspectives on things. So like when I met Ferdy, that's when I started to form what I actually believe. It kind of structured it.
Yeah.
And like then I started asking, well, just like you, why? What is spirituality? Why believe that?
Well, that's the thing. You get to choose. Like what spirituality is going to look like to you. It's going to look very different.
People don't realize that. A lot of people associate.
They think it's some weird like cult thing.
Yeah, I think it's because like the people that normally will call themselves spiritual, who align with it, they think that everyone's like that because these sort of people, align.
Yeah. The thing is that like there's like different types. I've spoken to lots because like the way you've described spirituality, I don't seem to have a problem with. I've talked to people even on the app where we met, Stereo, people who are spiritual. They kind of associate spirituality with something like immaterial, like something like that's outside of this world.
You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so like as a human, your spirituality has to be human based. Like you have to move forward in the material like world. And I think that's the part that like fucks people.
It's like, I'm like, yeah, okay, tell me more about this. A lot of it, yeah.
Do you think that when you die your soul still exists?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
interesting.
That's probably what the core fundamental belief about spirituality is that you're an
There's
immaterial
something
being.
like something keeps going on after
well,
you're.
okay, matter
you're
cannot
dead.
be created or destroyed. So like I feel like
Well, I don't think matter dies. So like I think like
Yeah.
there's things like your biology dies.
your human
things-
body, your
your
vessel,
mind, yeah, your mind
your
dies.
brain, right.
But the matter which it compose it doesn't really like cease to exist. I guess you can call
yeah.
Because you think that does a soul take up space?
I don't know. Those are like there are some questions that I just don't like. I mean, we can shoot the shit and talk about them now. Do you know what I mean? But just as a, like me not having an answer.
You just maybe haven't like. Yeah, I understand.
I don't care.
I understand.
I don't. It's like the thing with like, did Jesus actually come back to the earth or not? I don't give a fuck. Like it literally, like it makes no difference in how I move forward. And so why am I going to? I have like a finite amount of energy to spend every day, and so if I'm gonna waste it on questions that I'm literally never gonna be able to like answer and actually don't like that doesn't, and maybe for somebody it would, but for me personally it doesn't hinder or help my relationship with myself or
the people around
Because
you.
you already, I feel like for you, I'm literally the same way. Like, maybe where you already know that you have something to offer the world, and I think that you probably
What else
realize
do you
it.
need? Yeah.
What else do you need? Like everything else is kind of just like steering you away.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Yeah,
that?
it's just
There was just some questions that I'm not going to sit here and ponder by myself. Same thing. Like I would sit here on a podcast and like get to the bottom of the answer about it if we wanted to.
But it's just like you would normally you wouldn't like associate that.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not a fundamental.
I want
part
to
of
ask
my
you a question.
spirituality.
If
What?
you knew the world was watching, what would you say? Like if you knew that Madison was going to be given a microphone for the world.
To speak in front of the world.
Yeah.
The world's
Same-
watching right now.
Yeah,
What
what
would
would
you
you
say?
say?
The same thing I'm saying.
Oh, same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is there like a bite size?
Wait, what do you mean? Like
Bite size? There's like a.
Think about it because
I don't.
because I
I don't
think-
like that question because I think there's going to be so many opportunities for me to like say things to the world that I don't ever have to choose. Just sit here and decide to choose one thing to say to everybody. Like I think that's such a cliche question. No offense that like interviewers ask and stuff. I see that shit on like the street camera things all the time. Like if you could tell the world anything, like what would it be? I don't know.
I think the reason why I'm asking that is because I want to see what the main idea is
The main idea of what?
of what you want to express.
Yeah, it's basically. So what is it that you prioritize for the
There's
world?
no main idea. Okay. So are you more of like a live streaming type of like
I'm like when we were like first talking about this.
Yeah.
Like I have basically decided that like I am. I don't want to sound weird when I say this. Like almost like a channel. Do you know what I mean? Like I.
yeah.
And so like at any given moment, there are things coming to my brain that may or may not need to be said
Yeah.
to the world.
It's so fucking hot in here. Is it hot in here or is it just
No,
me?
it's definitely hot in here.
I'm
I
honestly
took a microdose
dying.
of mushrooms before I left the house, like the smallest microdose. I microdose mushrooms all the time. I do it all the time. And I was sitting in here and I was like, is it the microdose hitting me?
Okay, you feel hot, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I feel
right.
clammy.
I'm like, you ever feel like you're internally sweating?
Sorry.
Don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means.
His
You
organs
do,
are boiling.
right? Dude, I feel like
Breathe. In through your nose.
I want to open the door.
No. Just
because people are out there.
cooling breath.
cares?
In
I'm
through your
not gonna do
nose. In through your nose. And then blow out like you're blowing through a straw.
Oh, I did that before.
That's
Wait.
cooling breath. That's how you cool your
No,
body
I'm
down.
serious, dude. They did this yoga practice.
And it's just so funny. It's like, oh, I did that.
Yeah, fuck it.
I did that.
No, for real. It's so hot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Maybe it's the sunglasses.
No. No, my eyes are shot. I'm honestly broken, dude.
Nobody can see you.
I'm literally fucking broken.
Oh, well, I
but-
guess the camera can.
Yeah, that's
You're
it.
facing this way. You're not
Yeah,
facing
you're not
that
even.
way.
For instance,
I'm the one getting all the
actually just
attention.
Yeah,
mention.
you are. I feel like I haven't actually answered a single question you guys have asked.
No, you're good.
All right, so just to let's see, we've discussed some stuff on environment. We discussed some type of
Oh wait,
on
why
your
are you guys
background.
vegans?
Oh,
I
boy.
have-
Yikes.
Go
I
ahead.
have things
I
to
wanna
say
can I answer
about
that? Can I answer
I
that?
have
Okay,
funny things
okay.
to say about
I'll
being
answer that.
vegan.
All right, ready? No. Here, you're
Okay.
getting in the nitty-gritty.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so it kind of starts over here, right?
So I
For
was
me,
born
no, hold
in
on.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I was birthed, right? You found my way into life, and I got really high, like when I was in high school, and I just would smoke weed, and I kind of like thought, I just started changing my perspective on life, and like you asking why.
Wait, how long have you been a vegan?
8 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Me 5.
Yeah.
Damn.
Exactly. Yeah,
Crazy.
we got a degree,
In veganism?
In a sense, yeah.
In Japanese. Yapping about veganism.
Well-
Anyways,
I got high, started thinking about I guess I was just really interested in like health, and so like I was interested in like the vegan diet just as like health, like something to do like for your health. And then I started thinking about the animal ethics about it, just to myself really. And I went vegetarian. I had a vegan girlfriend, and she kind of influenced me just by her being vegan was kind of like, oh, let me just change, right?
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about the animal ethics. It was more about, oh shit, there's a matrix going on.
That's the only valid reason I think you should be a vegan is
Yeah.
animal ethics. I
Yeah.
think the rest of it's bullshit.
Yeah, what the
to be
fuck,
honest.
bro? We're eating flesh.
Do you,
Like
okay,
it's
wait.
like we have to ask
no,
ourselves
no,
like, why are we cutting a bone?
Hold on. No. I mean animal ethics in the sense of CAFOs are disgusting.
What's that?
Like, fuck. Google it. What it actually stands for.
CFOs?
Yeah,
CFOs?
confined something feeding operation or something.
Oh,
It's where they keep cows, and it's like,
Okay.
like, have like
Yeah, we've
chicken
seen, like,
milk,
stuff.
yeah, that kind of stuff. But
chicken milk.
mills,
Oh.
like puppy mills, but for chickens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's horrid.
But I don't. We have been eating meat since the dawn of time. Like
Yeah.
that's not weird. Like that's a very normal. We have evolved to eat meat. Like that they have. What,
confined feeding operations.
yeah. Confined feeding operations. Where's the A? There should be an A in it. Why is there no A?
CFOs.
Oh, maybe it's just CFOs. Or maybe they took out the A. I don't know. I did a whole project on them in college.
I think I'm gonna bring an AC filter in here or something.
So-
Or like a fan or something.
yeah.
You want me
But
to say my reason?
Wait, do you guys think it's like actually weird to like eat animal?
I
like
think
Not,
That's what I mean.
okay, so there's like a difference between
that's like the circle of life,
weird.
baby.
There's like a difference between like weird
Uh-huh.
and like
If we change
do I
the
find
way
it ethical?
so if we change the way we
I
treated
still would
animals,
find it unethical. Yeah.
like if I went out there and hunted my own deer,
Yeah, I
and
would
ate
still
it,
find it
why is that
unethical.
unethical? We've been
So-
that's how
yeah,
we got to where we are.
and drop the bomb.
Okay, so
Is it because we've like evolved
I
past
got
that
you.
now? It's like,
You're asking the best person.
okay, so
I'm probably making.
oh, let me just like
No, you're good.
so for example,
like, tell me why. Flip the table.
go ahead. With respect to the weird thing, I want to say like
The weird thing.
it's like yeah.
With respect to the weird thing.
I'm systematically addressing it.
You're cooking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But not
tofu,
me. But not
tofu,
cooking
tofu.
me. Yeah,
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 tofu.
No. We don't eat it. No.
Okay.
It's so fucking hot. I'm opening the door. Go ahead.
No,
don't
we are
open
gonna
it,
be
don't-
loud. Do not open. No,
being
stop.
mad loud.
We cannot do that. It's a sound booth for a reason.
Yeah, but I'm so hot. There's
okay,
no air.
then step
Take
outside.
off your shirt.
Yeah, take off your shirt.
I have a.
Okay. So the thing is that like, let's say animals killing other animals, you know, that
We
might
are an animal killing
I know.
another animal.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying.
Sorry,
I'm
I
saying
should
like,
let you say more than 2 words.
like, say for example, like a lion killing a gazelle.
Yeah.
It might be normal, but however, if you see that in person, you might think that's like weird to watch, right? There's like things that are natural, but we can still find them as weird.
Why are we disassociating
moving.
ourselves from natural parts of humanity?
Well, the thing is that I think there's a distinction between.
Why is it weird for an ant? Not weird for. Why is it different for a lion to kill a gazelle versus you killing a gazelle?
Because
You're an animal.
they don't have moral agency.
But like we were put into this system. That is how it's operated always. Why? And it like doesn't.
What are you asking? Why is it okay?
No, I'm asking why you think it's like
Wrong.
morally incorrect to eat an animal. I think the way we
I can
treat
address
animals.
it. I'll address it in multiple layers. So I'll say why I'm vegan, and then I'll address some of the points there. So the reason why one of the main reasons that I'm vegan is because I find it kind of like it's kind of like a type of golden rule, where suppose you don't know anything about your identity and you're gonna be born in a society, right? what now you can start asking yourself, you don't know if you're going to be white, black, Hispanic, religious, what are some other identities?
Any
gay,
demographic,
gay, lesbian. Now, what type of rules would you make for this society? Presumably, you would make the rule not to discriminate against like races, because if you were born as a different race, you wouldn't want to be discriminated against. Same thing for religious groups, same thing for being gay, lesbian, or straight. However, this same idea can apply to animals. And now you could kind of like put yourself in their shoes. Would you create kind of like moral rules to the like prevent from killing and eating animals? Because if you were to be born in their position, you wouldn't want to be killed just for the purposes of meat.
Let me sum up really quick. It's because they're innocent. They're innocent beings.
Wait, what? I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, go ahead. But I want to maybe put it in my terms. Maybe you understand it.
It's just a golden rule.
Go first.
I know.
Go.
They're innocent. They're not harming any people or themselves or other animals. And we don't have to eat them.
What happens when you're driving down the highway and someone just smacks into your car and you're dead?
Yeah.
Right. You just died.
Yeah.
Like you're dead. It's over. It was like beyond your control. Our like humans apex predator, is other humans, right? So if like someone's driving down the road and then smacks into your car and kills you, that's like just like part of life,
Yes.
right?
The point is that they're innocent. They're not aggressing on anyone, and we don't have to eat them. We have other options. Like if we didn't have other options, different story, right? If we didn't have other options to eat, we can address that. Right? But in the sense that right now we're factory farming them, we're killing them and they're innocent. It's not like they're dying.
Even in hunting.
I agree with that part, but like
Right.
if I'm gonna own I want to own a farm one day with cows that I will hire someone to slaughter so that I can eat them. But I want to be able to raise my cows and take care of them because I think the industry is absolutely like disgusting. But like my point being about the car accident thing is like we are the apex, and it's a little different, obviously, because like right, one is an accident, one is not. But my point is that like as like the why do I want to say chain of custody? What's the
Chain of custody.
what the fuck? What's the like humans are at the top and then there's-
hierarchy?
Yeah, the like
Hierarchy.
Yeah,
Moral hierarchy.
not even moral, just like of animals and stuff. Like obviously
Predation hierarchy,
We don't have a natural
You're talking about
predator, right? We are the natural predator. Lions are a natural predator to gazelles. Animals like cow and lions and deer are our prey. We evolved like that. Like we would not be
Yes, but
here.
it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be a right thing to do. Even if, because think about it, if there was a species that.
So do you guys want to like change the system where like nobody?
Yeah.
We want to like evolve into beings who just simply don't eat meat.
Well,
Yeah.
So then
not
instead
necessarily.
we use,
Or lab grown meat. Lab grown meat is fine.
Or if they die naturally.
but do you
that's
know-
another thing, because like you can still eat meat. We just think that by the means of it, it's going to be wrong.
Basically, whenever you think of it, like this is how I'm thinking about it. If you're gonna kill a cow,
I think this is actually the most self-absorbed argument ever. It's like, I think that we like to put ourselves on these like morality high horses to step outside the system of like what is more civilized and what is more evolved, and really we're just like I don't know.
well, I don't see
We're
it.
just trying to make ourselves feel better by not like doing something that's actually very normal to do. It's just consciously uncomfortable, and instead of dealing with that disassociation and understanding that it's part of life, we just decide to opt out of the system by not eating it.
Yeah, so I don't think my reason is kind of like self-absorbed, because I think like the reason for self-absorption is that it has to be self-directed, or like
It makes
or like
you
social
feel better
self-directed.
to not eat animals.
No, it's not that. It's not that it
Because
makes me
it's
feel
mean to kill
I would
them.
I would prefer if it was so convenient to be a non-vegan. It's very convenient. It's much, in some cases, is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you were evolved to eat like that.
Yeah. Well, and we evolved to eat either.
Well, yes, yeah, you can.
Okay.
We're herbivores.
Yeah. So, but
But
the
not
reason,
solely one or the other.
Well,
Which actually, there's a lot of evidence for a full meat diet too.
The whole idea is like we can eat either. We can eat either plants meat or both, right? You could choose your dietary preference with respect to that. But the reason why I don't think it's like necessarily self-absorbed, at least the reasons that I gave, was because it's kind of like focusing on the animal and the experiences of the animal.
To make yourself feel better about not harming
we do prefer it, but the thing is that we're speaking up for the animals because they can't necessarily like
speak for themselves.
And the thing is that we know that it's normal. We know that like we've been doing this for a long time, and we're not saying that it's gonna
stop anytime soon.
So if we had never evolved like the whole like dogs and cows and shit don't have a moral compass, right? But humans do. That's like part of what separates us. If we had, even like Neanderthals probably had a moral.
Maybe more rudimentary, but maybe.
For sure. Yeah. No, definitely, because their brains were still not as large and didn't have like the same kind of whatever. So like was it
ethical for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. They don't have any moral
simply
agency.
didn't have
the
So you guys think because we have evolved to have more of that agency, we have a moral responsibility to then carry out what we have. It's like at one point we didn't know that having sex with 13-year-olds was fucking weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we evolved to figure out that's not something we should do.
Here's another one, like suffering, if you believe in the evolutionary process, suffering is insane across evolutionary span. However, just because suffering itself is very natural and found all across animal species, doesn't give us a reason why we should go around torturing animals when we eat them. Typically, we want to do it in a painless death, but if you think about it more like this, predation is nothing but quick. You have to capture the prey. You have to kill it, and then in the way that they kill the lions kill their prey is not very appealing for the the prey itself. So I don't think that's a.
I think it's like if you could still eat meat, right? Let's say you could still go to the grocery store and still eat meat. I don't think you would necessarily have. You would see it as like it being wrong if we just, instead of killing the animals, let them die naturally.
Except that would not necessarily. I don't think that would, like, when people go and hunt and stuff.
Yeah, or lab meat.
Well, there's very specific ways that you have to kill the animal in order to
sterilize it.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you shoot it in the wrong place, that none of that meat's going to be viable anyway. But a lot of the time, here's the thing about waiting till animals die is a lot of the time when animals die, that you don't want to eat whatever meat. It's no longer you want to kill these things in their prime to.
Yeah, but the point is just that. You don't
want to eat. Here's the thing.
I think we're focusing on the wrong thing there, because I don't think whether let's say if you have some individual who does wait for them to die and then eats them later, we're not gonna cast moral judgment upon this person. Whatever there's nothing wrong that you did.
Well, that meat's not going to be nutritional anyways.
Yeah, people eat things like ice cream or alcohol, who are very not nutritional.
Well, yeah.
They're not very nutritionally adequate for one. But the idea is with respect to hunting, killing, when there's relevant alternatives, what do we do in situations where we live in the States? You live in a lot of Western countries like Canada, New York, maybe if you live in UK and places like that. What is our judgment with respect to killing and eating animals in those cases? And I think it's kind of unacceptable. We have relevant alternatives. If you were to be put in the position of the animal, you would not want to be killed for your
Honestly,
flesh.
I would not. I mean this genuinely. If that is part of the system that I am in, and that is the natural cycle, that's it. I wouldn't.
I don't think you believe this.
I genuinely do.
Let me ask you a question then.
But I do have something that I've I've found a flaw in my own argument with an argument that I have about something else that is actually the same. The argument I have about something else is the same argument you're using for veganism. So I think I've dismantled my own argument. Okay, basically, listen. So,
is it the treatment of women or things?
No.
This applies because the same idea that I have
it's about rape.
the same idea of the put yourself in the position of the other person that applies to women and stuff like that.
It's different than that. About like having the morality and like having to change the system once you have an understanding. So when bonobos are like closest like primate ancestor or whatever, they
Our cousins.
are they drag each other out into the like wild and will rape each other, and that is like a very actual like normal thing within the primate like non-human primates. Rape is like a huge thing, and those are our closest like ancestor, you know. And so this is something that like culturally has actually been part of human
Throughout all of human history and warfare
Exactly.
and things like that. Yes.
Like it's we like look at it and we're like, that's absolutely absurd and disgusting. But before we had conscious brains, this was something like people wanted to fuck. Like that was, and you didn't have a moral understanding, and so you just took what was yours and did what you wanted to do, kind of thing. And actually, on the other end, there was probably very little like even if it wasn't wanted, there was not the conscious understanding of like the same kind of like
It's basically like rape is natural. Even you can make it more broader that suffering is natural overall.
But however, now we have like evolved, you know, and obviously we have the understanding that you should not just like
shouldn't be doing
do
it.
this against like
Other people in
people's
general.
will and stuff.
Including animals.
Right. So I do get that part, because that's what. But here's my other thing is that when I talk about that, I actually cannot believe I'm even about to say this on a microphone, because I say it all the time. This is like not something I would say to people, but we're here.
Yeah, we can. If you ever feel uncomfortable about something, you can always cut it out.
We look at like things like rape, like I said, and we're like, oh my god, that's just like absolutely what kind of human would do that? Like, like you must be some kind of sick. And it's like, no, actually, like it's a very natural part of the primitive brain, and part of the problem of like changing it is we refuse to like look at it for what it is. And I think that within the like veganism argument, you'd actually be able to access a lot more people with the philosophy of like, we understand that in the past this was okay and it worked, but now we can move forward differently. Like I do understand that perspective, but also I'm not gonna stop
we can
eating
move
meat.
forward without it. Well,
I love a fucking burger, bro. I'm also allergic to soy, so I can't like my like vegan alternative stuff. Like I'd have to be eating grass every day, and I just like don't. I can't.
There's like a difference between like you can agree with the vegan principle and say technically I think we should be going that way. However, whether you practice it or not, that's a different story.
I also just think it would be like more. Like, you're never going to get the whole world to stop eating meat. It would be better to just have clean, like, well-treated facilities that do... And that's my other thing, is that there are things that, like humans are just... They're going to do. Like, you can't stop humans from doing things. It's like, instead of, like, trying to... Like, everybody should be a vegan. It's like, why don't we, like, start... You have to start somewhere, you know, and like you can't like go from like a whole society of meat eaters to like just nobody eating meat, and so it starts with the small
gradual.
stuff.
It's gradual.
And it starts with small things like making the like.
Well, we just want to change the perspective and do a lot of intro.
Well, you changed my perspective.
I do
get
a
it.
success.
Yeah.
We kind of like.
But the thing is that we want to do a lot of introspection. We want to ask ourselves like, what do you value? What don't you value about the animal? That you would.
It's not about that. Like, there's nothing that I don't value about the animal.
Yeah,
I just think it's a very normal part of evolution. We have always eaten meat. I think the way we do it is disgusting, but I think eating meat is...
But that alone wouldn't justify it.
I feel better when I'm eating meat. My hair grows better when I eat meat. My skin looks better when I'm eating a lot of meat.
But
like,
I don't think you would even say that just the fact that
it's
we've
normal.
been doing it for a long time or that it's natural.
Normal.
That therefore means that it's okay to do now.
Because rape and evolution.
I know, I get it. I get it.
There
But
has
it's
to be,
also
but
like...
there has to be
but
some.
here's the thing.
There has to be some justification.
Well, because rape was a survival thing. I was
and
gonna
suffering
say
too.
But the thing is, look. I'm gonna break it down like this. This is like, I normally don't go here with someone, but I think it might be important to go through with you because we've already gotten so far, and I know that's a lot.
NTT?
No. Yes. Exactly.
Name the trait.
Yeah. So pretty much, if we have a human, and I might be saying this wrong, if we have a human, right, we think it's wrong to kill the human for food. In your case, you think it's okay to kill an animal for food, let's say a pig, chicken, or cow. Now, there has to be some sort of trait or characteristic that justifies one and not the other, right? Because obviously humans are different than animals. In this case, we think that it's wrong to kill both for food, but in your case, you think that it's okay to kill these pigs, chickens, and cows for food, but not these humans.
The human.
So we want to know what morally separates them. What trait or characteristic
Could
do
I
they
add
have?
one more thing to that?
Sure.
And
do you
just
understand that?
Just so
Yeah.
the audience knows, there's actually experiments going on with stem cell with respect to pig embryos and adding human cells inside of the
Well,
pig.
that's irrelevant.
But it's relevant in
It
the
is,
sense
but-
that it's with the
but
entity.
don't confuse
It
her.
applies.
But
It
don't
applies to
confuse her,
entity because like you could, in theory, you could grow a pig with a human brain in it.
Yeah, you
so,
could.
Yeah,
But-
that's like a.
But do you see like there has to be
Okay,
some
wait,
trait
so-
like
Hold on, rewind, and I'll
Yeah.
answer your question. When you guys talk about lab-grown meat, are you talking about just like an organ that you could like how
Now
steak
you
is
like
a piece
grab a
of-
cell,
yeah.
right?
You
or like
replicate
let's
it.
say a muscle
But you're
cell.
not building the whole. You're not like growing the whole pig.
No,
You're growing, like,
no,
the,
that'd
be like the
piece
muscle.
of-
Yeah.
The muscle.
right,
That'd
right,
be
right,
wild.
that-
The muscle.
I would- well, CRISPR, baby.
CRISPR, yeah.
But
CRISPR.
okay, so what is the thing that separates?
Yeah, what's the trait?
Why is it okay to
look,
kill animals?
Look, I'll give you an
not
example.
humans?
We are the apex. To like, it's the. Why do I keep wanting to say chain of custody? Like,
Chain of custody.
The-
I understand.
like,
You're saying we're the apex predator, therefore that's
It's
what
just
that's
a,
what
like,
that's why it's okay to kill
natural cycle
the animal.
That's funny.
I think some
What if it
things
was-
that you can just like you're allowed to. I don't want
What
to
if
say
you're an
allowed to
apex
drop
predator to another human?
morality. Well, here's the thing: it's like the death penalty exists. Are you
Yeah.
fighting for the death penalty to not exist? Are you fighting to stop wars? Like we do the same thing we do to animals all over the fucking
Right.
like.
But presumably we want to do that we want to create justice, right? For someone who's innocent, a being that's not innocent. Like we would inflict that sort of thing onto someone that is not innocent, right? Because of justice. But
Right.
like in this case, these animals, I think you would agree they're innocent in a sense. They're not like
For sure. I just honestly, I don't think it matters, and I know that's awful.
Yeah, so
Like, I like-
I understand that. Like, you know, you're just saying
I want to run a different NTT, but I'll run it off camera because this one's severe. This one's severe.
Or you can run it on camera. We can just.
Oh, we can just cut it out. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about the NTT that I'm about to run on you. I'm so sorry in advance.
but
I'm getting nervous, and
yeah,
it's,
it's
like,
so sorry.
we're
This
just-
was gonna be
but-
crazy.
Wait, hold on, but we're not
'Cause we only
I feel
have a couple
we're going
minutes.
too deep. Oh, what time is it?
almost time to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
should. Well, we need to wrap it up. Really, what we need. Should
Yeah.
you just ask me it afterwards?
Yeah, that's,
we can just
yeah,
ask you
do it
after.
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about. But
Look,
whatever.
look. This is TableTalkz. I mean, we went through a lot.
We talked about nothing.
Honestly,
we literally got
honestly,
to no points.
Honestly, this is literally we obviously have so much to talk about.
Yeah, we should.
We
do this
tried to
again.
get it all out on an hour and 30-minute podcast. Obviously, you have to come back. You have to do this again.
Fun.
And I think that it would be very interesting to have a fourth guest to actually like, because we're all different. Like, and
I feel like 4 of us would be too much. We
No.
we barely
Should've
got
seen us
anywhere
last
with
time.
3.
no, it would be amazing. It would be amazing because I think honestly, Madison, if you
My full name, not my full name.
I don't like calling people
Serious.
Madison.
Oh my god. Anyway, go.
But,
What?
like, if I think this is what you want to do, I think you want a platform like this.
I do. I
And
do like
I'm
the bouncing, the shooting, the shit.
100%. You have no idea. You don't even know us, and I know I've right away from looking at your social media content, I know that it would be perfect because we need a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
We need someone who disagrees with us. We can't be fucking two fucking vegans sitting here. It's so weird. You know what I'm saying?
Fight me, bro.
Two
We need you.
vegans sitting here.
You
We
know
need
those
a
women?
woman.
You know those women that interview like the Haktua girl?
Yeah.
We need someone like that.
Yeah.
And
Did
you
she
were
make
like
a
that.
podcast called Talk to Her?
Talk to her.
Oh
Yes,
my
she
God,
did.
shut up.
Yes, she did.
That's winning.
I could see, but you're like that person. You're like this one girl. I don't know her fucking name, but you have such a podcast energy to you, and I think you would literally. You're literally the Joe Rogan typing on the computer guy. I swear to God, and I promise you, we're gonna do this again, and we'll get someone that we all want to, talk about.
I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be really cool.
I'll be a resident TableTalkz. I'll come in here every time
Yes.
you guys do this.
No, 100%. And
shoot the
even
shit.
if you wanted to run it we'll sit back.
I don't need to. I have
You know
my own
what I'm saying?
podcast to run my way.
100%.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like to.
Perfect.
I
So
can
we're-
sit here and take the back seat.
This is gonna be fucking amazing.
All
I'm
right.
so serious. I see it here. So yeah, finish it off.
All right, everybody. This is TableTalkz. I'm here with Madison and Flo the Vegan,
You already know.
or Gavin. This
already know
guy,
what's
no
up.
cringy ass name. It's your boy Impulse signing out. You guys have a great one.
Bye. That's so fun.
Holy shit.
Oh man, what a fucking crazy.
Okay, run it. What's the thing?
Okay. Do you think it's okay to have sex with animals?
Okay. Obviously.
Jesus Christ.
This is actually a really funny thing. No, but same thing.